Why workers' compensation? I got a call from a 19-year-old girl named Loretta Shelton. She's from Axton, Virginia. She worked for a company called Brown Products, and Loretta told me her story. She said she just started working there. She was in her first 2 weeks. Prior to that time, she had worked in a doctor's office, but she was laid off, and so she's working in a factory that makes cardboard boxes for the furniture packing industry. And on her first day on this particular machine, it's called a chopper. The chopper has a guillotine-like blade that comes down and it chops the cardboard to specifications. And what she noticed was that the cardboard would get caught up inside the machine. And she asked her coworker, and she looked around and she saw what other people did. And what they did was they would just push it on through. And so she did that. Her cardboard got caught up inside the machine. She put her hand inside the machine, and to this day, we don't know how it happened, but that blade was activated, and it came down and it cut her hand off. She picked up her own hand, she wrapped it in a rag, she carried it to her supervisor, and she said, "I cut off my hand." And she was airbacked to Duke Hospital, where they sewed her hand back on. After 6 surgeries, the phone rang, and it was the insurance adjuster. And she said, "Loretta, can I ask you a few questions?" She said, "Yeah, of course." I said, well, she asked her 100 questions or so, and she got them all right except the last one. And the last question was, "Well, Loretta, you knew you shouldn't have put your hand inside that machine." And she said, "Yeah, of course I do now." And the adjuster said, "Well, thank you very much. I don't have any further questions for you." And they denied her workers' compensation benefits because allegedly she knowingly admitted that she violated a company rule or policy. Never mind the fact that there was no written rule about not putting your hand in that machine. Never mind that that's how she was told to do it. Never mind that she was a probationary employee, first day on the job. They denied her case. And she went before the Workers' Compensation Commission, which is a state agency, and they upheld the denial. They said, "You violated the rules. You don't get workers' comp." She appealed it and won on appeal. Of course, the other side appealed it. So this whole process takes 2 years. So 2 years she goes by, the horrible injury and no benefits. And right before it went to the Court of Appeals, they settled for enough money to allow her to get retrained so she can do something else, and also pay her $500,000 in medical bills. But what that got me thinking was, what in the world is going on in Virginia? Why can't you get workers' compensation if you get hurt at work? Why is it such a big deal? And so what I found out is that Virginia, it's different from other states. In most states, you get hurt at work and you get workers' compensation. But in Virginia, a lot of times you get hurt and you don't get workers' compensation. In fact, we have the highest denial rate of all 50 states. 1/3 of all cases get denied right off the bat. In Virginia, we have entire categories of cases that just aren't covered. They are in other states, but they're not here. Historically, workers' comp was supposed to be a compromise between industry and labor. Legislation was passed about 120 years ago, giving us workers' comp. Well, guess who wanted workers' comp? Was it the employers or the workers? Believe it or not, it was the employers who wanted it. Well, why did the employers want workers' comp? Because before there was workers' comp, if someone got chewed up in a machine, if they were killed or maimed, you could sue the company. They were tired of lawsuits. They said, "Oh, these lawsuits are killing us." And so labor said, "Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll stop suing you, but you have to give us a reasonable wage and you have to pay for our medical bills and our death benefits." And so it was a compromise, and it was supposed to be fair. But what happened over time was that in Virginia, through statute and through case law, all those rights started getting taken away from workers. And we're going to talk about that. But the good news is that if you know a little bit about what your rights are, you can win your case most of the time. Injured? Don't wait. Call 888-8888. Geoff McDonald and Associates.